If you're a foreigner in Germany and you're still at A2, or you just scraped through your B1 for citizenship and you haven't touched German since, I need you to pay attention to the next few minutes because the political climate has shifted and the level of German you could get away with in your daily life is quietly moving up. I'm Ada, I work in HR and I'm an immigrant myself. This video is a complete German language roadmap, what level you actually need, how long it takes to get there, and the 4 things to do this month regardless of your current German level. By the end of this video, you would know your real current German level. People overestimate by 1 full step. You would know what level actually gets you legally at work and in daily life. You'll have specific timeline for reaching your next milestone, and you'll know which course providers fit your budget, your schedule, and your goal. Quick facts to set context. 1. As of June 2026, the AfD is polling between 27 and 29% nationally, ahead of other parties. The current CDU-SPD coalition has ruled out AfD cooperation, so AfD is currently not in government. But polling that high shifts the whole political conversation on migration and citizenship to the right, regardless of who is in government. Fact number 2. Some proposals around tighter language requirements, longer integration probation, and broader grounds for citizenship revocations are currently being discussed publicly across multiple parties. AfD's official 2025 manifesto includes remigration as party language. What that will actually translate into as policy is being debated. What is practically certain is that your integration paperwork and your language proficiency will matter more in the next few years than it did in the last few. 3. Article 16 of the Green Gazette currently protects your German citizenship from being revoked unless you obtained it through fraud or you fall into the narrow set of expectations. That protection is real. If you're already naturalized, you're not on the verge of losing your passport. But if you're not yet naturalized, or if you rely on integration paperwork for work permits, the discretionary decisions bureaucrats make about you become more important. And those decisions correlate with how well you speak German. That's the full political context I'm going to give you today. So, but while there are, a number of videos out there deconstructing AfD's manifesto, mine is more about what you can actually do to control the situation. And which brings us to the language proficiency plan. So language proficiency operates on 4 levels. Understanding these 4 levels help you understand why B1 is the minimum, not the goal. First, there's the legal side. Every citizenship pathway currently requires B1, right? Proposals to raise it to B2 are on the table. Getting to B2 or higher now means that you're 1 step above whatever the future minimum becomes. That's 1. Secondly, in the workplace, every HR review I've sat in shows the same pattern. Foreigners who speak strong German get promoted faster, they get better projects, and they survive reconstructing rounds more often. Not because employers are prejudiced against non-speakers, but because a person that you can put in front of a client, a German-speaking supplier, or a boardroom presentation is much more valuable than someone who simply can't speak the language. In bureaucracy, every interaction with the Ausländerbehörde, the Bürgeramt, the Krankenkasse, or the Finanzamt is faster, safer, and cheaper in German. Bureaucrats have discretion. They use it more generously when they don't have to switch languages or repeat themselves all the time. When it comes to your civic duty, in a politically charged climate, your ability to read German news at source, attend a town meeting, understand a political speech, or read your Mietvertrag without a translator, it becomes protection from misinformation, from being taken advantage of, from being outside the conversations about your own life. Now let's translate all of this into levels. The CEFR, that is the Common European Framework of Reference, has 6 levels. The first one, let's walk through, all 6 of them. If you're on the A1 level, right, you can introduce yourself in German, you can order food, you can ask basic directions. This gives you tourist survival level of German. nothing else. If you're on A2, you can simply follow conversations, write short messages, handle the doctor's appointment if the doctor speaks slowly. This is where most foreigners really stall for years without realizing it. You can't watch a German TV series without subtitles and understand 70% of it. You are saying A2, my dear. You are in A2, and it doesn't matter what your intuition says. If you're in B1, however, you can conduct daily life in German, you can rent an apartment, handle a job interview in German. If the interviewer is patient, you can understand German language news if they are speaking slowly. B1 is currently the legal minimum for citizenship. It does not mean you're going to be fluent. It is actually the floor. B2, however, this is what most people mean when they say, oh, I speak German, right? You hold a real conversation at work. You understand fast-paced German news, podcasts you can listen to. You can read a German newspaper article without getting lost. You can be genuinely professional in German. This is where your career trajectory in German stops being limited by the language. So B2, right? And then let's talk about C1. With C1, you have high functional fluency. You can do professional work entirely in German, negotiate contracts, present in front of the room, read literature. This is the level required for some regulated professionals, so like medicine, law, and certain engineering roles. If you're in C2 German, that's already near native. You can do anything in German that a highly educated native can do, right? It's rare, it's expensive, it's usually not necessary, except your career specifically demands you to have that level of German. And here is the honest self-assessment. Most people watching this video right now, they are in levels that are above where they actually are, right? The Goethe Institute has a free online placement test that takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and it gives you an honest number of what your current or what your level genuinely is, right? Do it before you enroll for any course. The link is going to be in the description box. The gap between where people think they are and where they actually are is the biggest reason foreigners underestimate the language learning. And you have the responsibility to fix that gap. Most foreigners watching this are currently in the A2 to B1 range. And the next milestone is B2. Here is what that path actually looks like. A realistic timeline, 6 to 9 months of consistent study. Consistent means 5 to 8 hours per week, split between structured lessons and independent practice. Options ranked by cost. They have Volkshochschule, that's the VHS, roughly 150 to 300 euros for a B2 course as a general adult. It's best in value, available in every German city. The downside is that it has fixed schedules, often evening classes, and class size is around 15 to 20 people. If you want to go for Lingoda, however, it's between 200 to 400 euros monthly for sprint programs, which is intensive. You know, they have small group classes, native teachers, flexible scheduling, ideal for a work schedule, right? And then it's unpredictable. That's the issue. For DeutschAkademie, it's between 300 to 500 euros per intensive B2 class. There are several weeks long group classes with strong track records. Then Goethe Institute, that's the gold standard certificate, but the most expensive is between 900 to 8,400 for a full intensive B2 course, sometimes even more. If your workplace or your career demands the Goethe certificate specifically, it's worth it. Otherwise, the same B2 CEFR level for VHS, Lingoda, they function, the same way. If you want to supplement with apps, you can do that, but it's never a primary tool to use for learning. But there are different ones. They have Babel, they have Bisu, they have DeutschAkademie's own app. They are good for a daily 20 minutes practice, not good as your primary method. Realistic budget for the whole B1 to B2 journey should be around 200 to 1,500 depending on the provider you use. That's less than what most people spend on a single tourist trip. So it's a genuinely small investment for the outcome you're going to get out of it. If you're in B2 already, congratulations, you're ahead of most naturalized Germans in language proficiency. The next question is whether C1 is worth it for you or not. Let's look at a timeline between B2 to C1. 8 to 12 months. Longer than B1 to B2 because the material is more abstract, the required vocabulary is larger, and the exam is harder. The options is VHS for C1 course. It's Costs usually between 200 to 400 euros. It's longer than B2 courses, of course. Fewer cities offer C1 at VHS level, so you have to check availability locally. Then if you're looking at Goethe Institute for C1, it costs between 1,000 euros to 1,600 for a full intensive course. The certificate is university recognized. You have independent study. There are tutors, 5 to 10 hours a week of independent reading, and podcast consumption is a plus. A Deutsche tutor via Preply or similar at 15 to 35 euros per hour. Weekly conversation practice, a total of around 800 to 1,500 across the year. Now, where is C1 worth it? If you work a regulated profession, say medicine, law, or some engineering fields, C1 is often required for the professional certification process. If you want your career trajectory to have no ceiling above a certain seniority in most German workplaces, C1 is the informal expectation. If you're doing academy work, university generally requires C1 for admission. But when can you stop at B2? If you work an English language tech role and you don't intend to leave, the lane anytime soon, you can stop at B2. If your household is bilingual and B2 is enough for daily life, if your career does not require dealing with German language contracts, court precedents, or medical documentation, then B2 is it. But you have to be honest with yourself about what category you fall into. There is no medal for overinvesting in C1 if B2 fits your actual life. Structured classes are necessary, but not sufficient. The multiplier that separates people who stay at their level from those who genuinely move up is daily passive input. Now, what is daily passive input? Passive input actually means German language on your commute, beginner-friendly, slow Germans by, for example, Annick Rubens, Deutsch, Warum nicht from Deutsche Welle, Coffee Break German. For intermediate, you can look at Auf Deutsch gesagt, Easy German. For advanced, Any German News, Podcast, Lingoda Nation, Alles gesagt, and so forth. German TVs with German subtitle, not English subtitles. Netflix, ZDF Mediathek, ARD Mediathek. Watching your shows you already love dubbed in German with German subtitles is one of the most effective methods that exist. There are different movies like that. So you have like Babylon Berlin, a dubbed version of them, which are English series but then in German. Deutsche Welle has free courses, in the dw.com. It has free structured German courses at every level. It's underused. It's excellent. There are other YouTube German channels that you can watch. You can start with Easy German, then move to native creator channels once you can follow them at a 0.75x speed. Now, you have to also switch your phone and computer to German. Small, but it compounds daily. The rule is 20 minutes of daily passive input beats 3 hours of once a week. Your brain needs to hear German in this every day for the pattern to become instinctive. Which one is right for you depends on 3 questions. Do you have a fixed schedule or an unpredictable one? If it's a fixed schedule, then VHS is the great one. If it's unpredictable, Lingoda or Chatterbug might work for you. Do you have a specific certificate for a specific purpose? Are you working in a regulated profession, university admission, or immigration process? Otherwise, Goethe or any other legitimate B2 or C1 provider is fine. What is your budget? If it's under 300 euros, VHLs of a mix of DW plus a Preply tutor is fine. If your budget is between 300 to 800, Lingoda or DeutschAkademie works for you. If your budget is above 800, you need Goethe if you need the certificate, or a mix of Goethe classes plus private tutoring. Now, there are 4 things you need to do now. First off, assess honestly. Take the Goethe Institute free online placement test this week. It's 15 to 20 minutes. It tells you where you actually are. You do not assume it, you take the test. 2, enroll in the next level up this month. Not next month, no next week, this month. Whichever provider fits your budget and schedule. The specific one matters less than starting. 3, start daily passive input. 20 minutes podcast on your commute, your phone switched to German, 1 DW lesson before bed every day. No exceptions. This is the multiplier. And number 4, book your next certificate exam 6 months from now. Deadline creates focus. Without a booked exam, you begin to procrastinate. I don't know if you do that, but I do. So I always have to book exams whenever I want to level up. So if you do these 4 things, you'll be 1 full German language level higher within a year. That's the goal. And it's not because AFD is coming for your passport. They are not. And as I said, Article 16 protects you if you're already naturalized. But because a shifting political and economic climates make language proficiency the single most controllable protective factor that you've got, get to it. So get your B2 if you're at B1, get the C2 if you're at B2, keep going higher and higher. Here's the truth I want you to walk away with in this video. Politics in Germany will do what politics does. You can follow it, you can stay informed, but the amount of daily anxiety you can spend on it is limited and spent on the wrong thing. So it doesn't protect you, it exhausts you. Your German level, on the other hand, is entirely within your control. 6 months of consistent effort moves you 1 full level higher. 1 full level up changes your workplace trajectory, your bureaucratic outcome, your civic confidence, or should any of these future scenarios ever materialize, your safety margin. So pick your course, start your daily input, book your exam, and that's the whole plan. If this video helped you, please give this video a thumbs up. You can also consider subscribing to the channel to be more informed on, news and information of things happening in Germany, especially from an HR's perspective. If you like this video, you'll probably like my naturalization video, the video I made talking about how I got my German citizenship in 2026. Please do well to watch that video. You can let me know in the comments what you're going to be doing this month to develop your German. I'll be reading all of your comments. Ich danke Ihnen für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!